Welcome back to ABC News Live Reports. Well, the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl bound, outlasting their division rivals, the LA Rams, in the NFC title game, 31-37. That was the final score. They'll play the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 on February 8th. Joining me for more on this from Seattle is Brady Henderson, who covers the Seahawks for ESPN. Brady, good to have you here. Thanks so much for coming on. Let's talk about this redemption story for quarterback Sam Darnold. He's had quite the journeyman career in the NFL. Now he's leading the Seahawks to the Super Bowl in his first season there. As coach said, he, quote, shut a lot of people up in last night's game. What stands out to you? And I have to say, this one is tough for me as a longtime suffering Vikings fan.
Well, my apologies on behalf of Darnold and the Seahawks there. But, yeah, Darnold has overcome a lot of adversity, both with some early struggles in his career and even some struggles this season. And the one thing that his head coach, Mike McDonald, likes to say about him is that Sam is, quote, the same guy every day, despite ups and downs. And there have been a lot of ups this season. Darnold helped the Seahawks finish with a franchise record 14 regular season wins. He helped them secure the NFC's #1 seed. He made the Pro Bowl, but there were some down moments there. He led all players during the regular season with 20 turnovers, and 4 of those came in a Week 11 game against the Rams. And yet, as Mike McDonald says, Darnold is the same guy every day. And the Seahawks really credit that demeanor for helping them, ride through some of those struggles this season. And, the reason you heard Mike McDonald talk in those terms last night about shutting a lot of people up is because, some of that inconsistency led to questions about whether Darnold could win the big game or whether he could take care of the football. And in the biggest game of his career, he did both of those things. And by the way, he did it while playing through an oblique injury for the second week in a row.
Yeah, he sure came through when it mattered there. Seattle's defense may also be key to their success here. You've reported about how they allowed the fewest points across the NFL during the regular season. Amazing. How have they kind of turned up the intensity on defense during these, highly intense playoff games?
Yeah, it was the NFL's best scoring defense, as you mentioned, Elizabeth. They also sent 3 players to the Pro Bowl on that side of the ball. And to your point, they did step it up, at least in their first playoff game against the 49ers, when they held a very good San Francisco offense to only 3 points. And that was after holding that same offense to 2 field goals in the Week 18 game. They had a little bit harder of a time in that game last night, allowing 479 yards of offense. That was their second highest total of the season. The highest total was 581 yards in the Week 16 Rams game. So that is an offense that has given them some trouble. And really, these were, by a lot of measures, the 2 best teams in the NFL. So the good news for the Seahawks, despite the struggles they had last night, is that they will not have to play the Rams again. They're going to face the Patriots. And again, as I mentioned, there's a strong argument to be made that that was the toughest game that they were going to face, regardless of who they played in the playoffs. And I think that thought is reflected in some of the early betting lines, which have the Seahawks as 3.5-point favorites.
And we will all be looking ahead to the big game next month. ESPN's Brady Henderson, thank you so much.